everyone. You see a slightly grumpier Scriven family, seeing as we just filmed this video, didn't we, Indy, for about half an hour. Yes.
Yeah.
And what happened? What happened?
The mic broke, didn't it?
Did the mic break? Oh no. Oh no. Yeah. Okay. Say hi, friends. Hi, friends. I'm probably going to go on the boob for the majority of this video. I'm Indiana Valentine, and this is the story of how I came into the world. Yeah? Okay. Right. Hold that thought. Yeah, now we're breastfeeding on YouTube. That's cool. Cool. Right. So, Miss Indiana Valentine was born on the 25th of August at 6:35.
Also your birthday.
On my mum and her mama's birthday. We share a birthday, Bob, don't we? We share a birthday. Special birthday. So I think most of you know that we are planning a home birth. We were very lucky we got our home birth, really positive birth story hopefully. So we're going to run through it probably a bit quicker than we did in the last one because we have a fussy baby.
The other one was a bit long anyway. Yeah. It was like half hour long, so I want to keep it shorter.
I'll bash out the birth story. Dan can chip in at the end of what he thought, and then we'll answer a couple of your questions that we didn't hit. So yeah, so she was born on the 25th of August. 24th of August I woke up about 2 a.m. To take Sassy out for a walk, for a wee even, mum brain. And then couldn't get back into bed because my contractions had started. Literally, I don't think I had anything before that. But yeah, so from 2 a.m. they were coming regular. They were 3 and 10 minutes, like roughly every 3 to 4 minutes apart, and they were like decently strong. They were kind of as they should be for early labour from the off. So Dan woke up about 5 a.m. came flying down the stairs. Are you in labour?
I thought we were ready to go. I didn't know there was going to be another 25 hours.
Laying plastic down, all the things, and I told him to calm down because it could be another day, and it was. And so about 7ish I text my midwife Zoe and just said, this is what's happening, just letting you know, giving you a heads up. And she said, yeah, that's fine, I'll like stay in this area or I'll hang out. And text mum. Oh, are you alright? Okay, let's not choke on camera, shall we?
She's so greedy.
And I texted my mum and I said, look, no rush, like nothing urgent, but this is what's happening. You can come over if you want. So about 10 a.m. my mum turned up. And then we just hang out for the day. Sorry, now we've got the Amazon man. It's really going well for us today, guys. Parenting's going really well today. Okay, so yeah, so my mum came over and then we just proceeded to hang out for the day. I contracted all day long. I didn't stop. We might have had a nap a couple of times, but I never completely stopped contracting.
It was really good. Like everything about it was what we wanted. It was the whole home birth experience where you didn't have to go into the hospital at all. We were perfectly safe to do so. And yeah, you have all your creature comforts. You have everything you want at home. You know, snacks, and for me, snacks are important.
Oh dear.
You can go have a nap. For Nancy, she could get comfortable in different areas of the house. She had a bath. You know, all these different things that sort of really just make the whole reason you want the home birth. You know.
Just touch my feet. I don't like it. Yeah. So I contracted all day long, and then it got to about 5 o'clock, and I was due my antenatal that day, which I hadn't been to because obviously I was in early labour. And so Zoe came over, she popped over to just give me a quick check-up and have a listen to baby's heartbeat. Baby we now know is Indy. Your passport. So Zoe came over, checked on her heart rate was great. She said, you know, the contractions were really strong, but, you know, they just weren't quite there yet. So we carried on. I was using the TENS machine, I was walking around, using the birthing ball.
It just did everything
Yeah.
to sort of help you relax. I mean, contractions were what, every 3 minutes?
Yeah,
And
I felt
like,
okay.
it was a long time. I mean, it was every 3 minutes for 25 hours. That's got to be exhausting. You know, I was able to go off and nap and come back, make us food. You know, like, but as a woman, you've got to be in that the whole time.
Yeah.
But we tried to make the environment just as relaxed and chill as possible, so that we could watch TV, blah blah blah, like we said, do those bits and pieces that you can do at home.
Yeah, so probably about midnight things really were hotting up and I wasn't coping as well as I had been in the day, and Mum and Dan were insistent that I phone Zoe, but for some reason, I don't know if it was my midwife brain or my mum brain at this point, but I just kind of knew that although they were so regular and strong, they weren't doing anything, and I kept saying to them, I was like, no, I'm going to call Zoe and I'm only going to be a centimetre or 1 to 2 centimetres. And so in the end I gave in, we called Zoe and she came and she examined me, and lo and behold, what was I, about 1 centimetre, which was a bit demoralising, but equally it was kind of nice to know where we stood at least. So I told Zoe that she could go home, but Zoe decided to stay for a bit, and so she hung out, she had a cup of tea with us and whatever.
We said it's one of those things, like, as someone that's, you know, only connected to a midwife, it feels like a really odd way of tracking it, because every woman can be so different. Like, you can jump around from, you know, not being ready, for Nancy going from like 3 centimetres to being ready.
You're skipping ahead, you're skipping to the end. So, that's the best bit.
Okay.
So I was 1 centimetre, which those of you that
Another dog's barking.
Haven't had babies. Oh no.
I'm losing it. I really am losing it.
Yeah, for those of you that don't know, you have to be 10 centimetres to push a baby out. And I was 1 centimetre, so I still had a long way to go.
I feel like I'm 10 centimetres right now.
You're not in active labour until you're 4 centimetres, so technically Zoe didn't even have to be with me, and if I'd gone into the hospital they would have sent me home because I wasn't in labour. So I decided to get in the bath at this point. I'd got in the bath earlier on, and it was one of the only things that really stopped my contraction, so I hadn't got back in. But I said to Zoe, I said, either I need something to help me relax, or I need something that's going to stop these contractions so that I can like reset, and then like maybe it'll start again tomorrow. So I got in the bath and it didn't stop anything this time. In fact, they got stronger and stronger. So I got out of the bath after a couple of hours, and I needed Zoe to examine me again. I just needed to know that I was making more progress. And so at 3 a.m. I was 3 centimetres. So in 2 hours I'd done 2 centimetres, which is a lot. Like, textbook progress is half a centimetre an hour, so you need to do 2 centimetres in 4 hours. So I doubled that.
The fact that you'd been 1 centimetre for like 20 hours though is what I find baffling.
Yeah.
All that, like, you could tell she started to work harder, but the fact is those 20 hours weren't easy. Like, so for me it was like, for me it's like, it was probably even, I don't know if it was more demoralising. It was just like,
I think Dan was
I
tired.
felt like
it's probably hard to see me in pain and to see that nothing was happening. We were no closer to meeting her.
I didn't, even up to that point where things were amping up, I was like, I didn't even know, I didn't feel like there was a linear timeline or anything, so.
Yeah. Well, anyway, from there, things started to get a bit more exciting. So what we've now kind of gathered from all the information is that although Indy had never been in a back-to-back position or any kind of abnormal position in pregnancy, had been really conscious of it, she, for whatever reason, decided to do a long rotation. So she rotated all the way around during labour, that early labour. So that whole time, that's what she was doing. She was getting into a better position because she was in a natural one. Okay, you're fine. Have a feed. Good girl. So finally she must have just gone clunk and got herself in the right position, and then between 3 a.m. and 6:35 when she was born, it kind of all just like cracked on all of a sudden. So my waters broke, and then from there it was crazy intense. Dan started to get the pool ready when I asked at about 5ish, even though I was still 3 centimetres. I just needed something. I couldn't cope. I was starting to throw myself around, asked to go to the hospital, asked for an epidural, all that stuff. And those of you that have had
it
babies
was like,
will
yeah,
know
it was like that little peak. There was like every peak of the contraction for that like 5 seconds. Nancy just kind of lost herself and then regathered herself afterwards. Yeah, it was quite funny. But
for those
she
of you
just
that
sort of
know the
went.
phrase, I was transitional. So it's kind of when your body says that you're almost there and you feel like you can't do it, you get this surge of adrenaline. And so at the peak of contractions, I was really struggling. And so I'd started to use some gas and air at this point. Even though I felt like such a wimp for using gas and air at like 3 centimetres, like as a midwife, I was like, oh no, like we really try not to do this. But I needed it,
You were
and it
23
helped.
hours into labour.
Yeah, it did help. So at this point, I've started to feel a lot of pressure and feel like I'm wanting to push, even though I didn't say it out loud, nor did Zoe, the midwife, say to me that she thought I was pushing. We were both just kind of like plodding along and suspecting it, but didn't think, I'd gone from 3 centimetres to fully dilated. You have to have like some really convincing signs. So anyway, Dan started to get the pool ready, but it filled up much slower than we thought.
Yeah, I mean, I was still in a sling as well, so everything was like a bit slower, but we didn't want to put the pool up too early to jinx it. So yeah, in the end, it was sort of like a bit of a rush to get the birthing pool up and filled, but we got enough to get your bum in, didn't we? Which was the important thing. And
so Dan was filling it up with extra buckets of water, and eventually, when I literally felt like I couldn't hold out anymore, I got in the pool, even though it wasn't quite full enough yet. So the important thing is that you need to have enough water so that she can be born and like not take a breath. But as a midwife, I knew to keep my bottom under the water. The water was the best. It was everything I could ever have imagined it to be, even though I was only in it for a little bit of time, literally like minutes before she was born. It was so relaxing. It just gave me that last bit of oomph to just get her out.
I just remember like the huge relief as you sat in it. Like it must have given you so much.
It was the
like
best.
Get up and go. Like you were ready to go. I think at that point, like
I was like, come on then, let's have you, Baba. So from there, I had her within about 7 minutes, which, as lots of you may know, is not really how first babies come out or are supposed to come out. They're supposed to you're supposed to push and like stretch everything up a little bit, and then they come back, and then you push again, and then you crown really slowly, and then you deliver the head, and then you wait, and you have another contraction, and you deliver the body. And that's how you're supposed to do it, or that's what the textbooks say. What did Nancy and Indy do? Was it that?
Wasn't that, was it, Indy?
Wasn't that.
Indy was in a hurry at that point.
Little torpedo here came out, head, body, the whole thing in one.
Yeah.
There is my mum claims there is a picture, I've seen it.
She says there's a picture
where there's nothing of her out, and then the next frame is 7 seconds later on the clock, and she's in my arms. So it's what midwives call fetal ejection reflex. So probably where my body had worked so hard over the last day, and she was in that position, once she finally got ready, it was like go time, and she just flew out, didn't she?
So our plan at the end was literally for me to pick her up out of the water and look at the gender and tell Nancy, but that all went
she
out
literally
the window,
shot
didn't it?
up to the surface. There was no
and between you and Zoe, it was like you picked her up, and then we just kind of all looked together.
I think I lobbed at the gas and air.
Yeah.
We're going to try and see if our editing skills are up to putting the sound over the top of some footage. But we don't, for one, actually
I haven't looked
anything.
at what we've got entirely, but yeah.
It's on the video, on the birth video,
okay.
But obviously it got blocked. My mum literally put the video camera down, and then there was loads of stuff in front of it. So we'll try and do the audio of us finding out that she was a girl. But yeah, and then I hang out in the pool, didn't I, for about 20 minutes, I reckon, afterwards, which was lovely, just getting to know her and having a look at her, figuring out she looked like my dad. Dan cut the cord, and then we got out, and Dan got to have her for all this time.
While you were getting sutured, had an hour. I had an hour with her, getting comfortable. The midwife set me up so that my shoulder wasn't sore, so I had her properly in my right arm, and I had like just an hour familiarising myself, I guess, and I, just learning not to hold her like a glass ornament. I think I was far more confident than I thought I was going to be. Like all of a sudden, just a switch was like, okay, yeah, she's mine. So
You're amazing.
it's not like, so I just held her, which was really strange for me. It wasn't what I was expecting. But yeah, it was really nice to have that hour just getting used to her, just talking to her, sitting at the top of the stairs with her and Sassy. And then
I had my stitches,
you had your turn.
I had a wash, and then got to have her and feed her, and by 10 o'clock I think Auntie Erin was round.
Yeah.
Couldn't keep her away, could we? Couldn't keep her away.
So Auntie Erin and Uncle Brands came round afterwards, and yeah, that was really nice. So we spent some time all together, and then we chilled and slept. But that was, everything about it was what we wanted.
So lucky to get to stay at home, be supported by fantastic midwives who went
Your
above
mum
and
was
beyond.
here, like it was everything we wanted.
Here. You know, so many people in COVID didn't get to have their partners for the whole time and didn't get to have their mums with them, and we're just you got me and your mum, and that was probably perfect for how long it was. We were able to just both be there, and in fact, I was there when you needed me, but I think your mum did a lot of the work really with standing with you and so on. I think the only thing, and I wouldn't say it was a regret. The only thing I would change is that I wish she hadn't come out so quicker then.
Yeah, like the more control, because that caused your body a lot of damage.
It gave me quite a nasty tear, and that recovery was actually harder for me than any of the birth. That's partly why we've been like away for a while, because it's taken me a while to recover. But again, you know, some people would beg for a really quick pushing phase, so I have no regrets, but that's the one thing, if I could do slightly differently, is try and hold her in. But she was coming, there was nothing, you know, I could do about it. And so here we are, happily ever after.
So what do you want to do? A couple questions?
Yeah, I think
you have some? Yeah.
Oh, sorry, Andy. I think the first one that we answered in the last one was about her name. How did we come to her name, and what was her name going to be if she was a boy?
So yeah, we're not going to reveal the boys' names, we don't think, because we love them still. There's two names we really like, but for Indy, originally we had Indy and one other, which was Marnie.
It's going to be Marnie.
And there was just something about Marnie that it was too girly, wasn't it? It was almost like too twee.
When she came out and she was a girl, Dan was so set on Marnie. I thought, when she came out and she was a girl, I thought to myself, like, she'll probably be
that was
Marnie.
The name I wanted.
And I think Dan even says in the video, he says like, is she Marnie? And I'm like, I'm not sure. And not that Marnie is not a strong name.
We would still use it,
I
think. Like, we love the name. It just wasn't her. It was a really weird feeling. Like, it just wasn't.
She's just so, like, feisty. She just needed a bit more of a cool girl name. And we always intended to just call her Indy, but in the talks, Indiana
we just kept
came
calling
out.
Indiana, and we just used both so much. So, Indiana Valentine is what we settled on. And Valentine is our original anniversary.
Yeah,
when we met.
Day is when we
that's the middle name.
And that's where she comes from. And everywhere we go, people are like, I love her name, I love her
So we smashed it.
We crushed it, we think. And it really suits her.
Yeah, go on then.
Most of these we've answered. Did I have her naturally? Obviously, yeah, I did, because I was at home. Are you sad you didn't have a boy, or are you happy with a girl? No, we honestly can't imagine having a boy now. I don't know how people parent boys. I can't possibly think that we ever thought she was Chubbs.
Yeah, I know. Like this is a different baby. Different baby.
Yeah.
But we're so happy. We were expecting like a big chunky boy, and we got like her at 6 pounds free. Yeah. She's perfect.
Would we have another baby?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. If it was up to me, we'd be going again straight away. Like, I just want...
No, thank you.
I want children, and we want them now. But it's being realistic with finances and where we're living and so on.
Also, she's definitely lulling us into a false sense of security because she is such a lovely baby. Not that all babies aren't lovely, but...
she's been so good.
She's
really
so chill.
Easy. I'm sure we'll be punished later on. But at the moment, everything is just, we take her everywhere and everything is easy.
Yeah.
But we have always said 4 children. that might change, but yeah, it will always depend on. God, Jesus. We see our friends like that have 2 young ones, and it feels like carnage. If I'm at work, Nancy's going to be outnumbered.
It's just when you have too many, you don't have enough hands for that many children.
Yeah, like how people do it, I have no idea.
We'll figure it out.
We 100% will be doing it because carnage sounds fun. Yeah, so we'll see.
And yeah, last question: favourite part of the birth?
So yeah, I think that's what we mentioned. That hour that I had after the birth, sitting upstairs, literally just sat on the top stairs on my own with the dog, like, was perfect. Really getting comfortable, familiarising myself with holding her, and yeah, just chatting. Like, it's such a special feeling that, yeah, if you haven't had it yet, it is one of the best feelings in the world. If you have, you know what it is. Yeah, and then
similarly, mine is. Dan had her that whole time that I was getting sutured, and I really missed her while she was away. She was away from me for about an hour. I could see her, and I was chatting to Dan and stuff, but I didn't have her in my arms because I was using a lot of gas. And then once I had a wash, I kind of sat on the sofa and got to snuggle up with her and have her skin to skin and feed her.
Yeah, then you got to feed her, and obviously that's special.
Look at all her fingers and toes and her features, and that was just the best. That was the best.
Yeah,
and when Auntie Erin found out she was a girl as well.
I'll say that. Yeah, the reveal.
That was the best.
To them.
We might have to find that video and put that in at the end.
They've probably got stuff of that, so yeah, we'll
I think
ask them.
Brandon has.
That's fine.
So yeah, let me show you what you're all really here for, which is Cindy here. Let me make sure that the girls are tucked in. Here she is, little princess. Are you waving to your friends? Oh, you look really chunky at this angle. Are you going to say thank you everyone for watching? I'm going to say make sure you subscribe to our Instagram and our channel to see more of Indy. Yeah? Say bye. That's a funny face. Say bye. Good girl.